Hello, all. Greetings. In the pre show, you missed the absolute truth that we're all walking the line between fabulous and shit. And Laura, beautiful flowers, say something so the camera goes to you real quick. Ooh, you're muted. You're muted. We're recording. We're recording.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm slow. I got a slow trigger finger.
Taurus, beautiful, wonderful. What a wonderful real life living of the Tauran experience. You guys want to know why Johnny Depp is talking like that at the fucking trial? Because he's a Taurus Mercury. Taurus Mercury wants to talk very slowly. So, that's going to be the vibe of the night. I love it. I'm so glad you guys are all here. I'm going to darken my screen for a moment to send people the link. As per usual, we are dysfunctional, but that's the point, Dahlia. You don't have to worry about being the shit. Being shit is the shit. Okay, merch, market. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so first I'm gonna throw it to Razy. Razy, why don't you pull us some cards for this opening event while I send the link to all the people that are like, what the fuck? You told me to sign up in advance and I did, and there's still not link.
Okay, let's go. As usual, I'm using the archetype deck today, but I need three numbers from 1 to 6. So go. Anything.
2.
2, okay. Another one.
7.
Okay, got it.
No, 6.
That's fine. You got it. Don't worry.
I did that last week, Meg. Too much bong.
One more. One more.
5.
5. Okay, cool. This is really cool because all right, so let me see how I can show you this, right? So the first one was the thread. Got that little rainbow there, right? Then the next one is the self, definitely full of rainbows. Then the last one is Gnosis, which has it too. Which honestly, not all the cards in this deck have rainbows like that. Like, look at this one. No rainbows. No rainbows. Literally no rainbows. So that's cool that we just got that thread. If anyone feels, well, you know what? I'm just going to read it. And then if anyone wants to add, because, this is a time where we get to play with our intuition, play with our own, what's coming to us. It, like, literally following your intuition is just a matter of trusting yourself. Nothing is right or wrong. It just is. So when you learn how to really have confidence with what it is that's coming to you and you trust yourself, then you're in a channel, quote unquote, right? But okay, I think this is interesting because the self is the middle one and it has like the pearl in the middle. And I mean, with all of the like the thread in general, that's the thread that like binds us all, right? I don't know if you guys heard about that like Chinese proverb of the red thread that ties us all together. And this is what it reminds you of because there literally is a red thread there. We'll see if that's what it says. And with all the Pisces energy, which is very rainbow energy because it's like all the colors, everything together. We have like so much stuff in Pisces right now, which is also that unconditional love. And I've been talking about it too, like in my check-in on Instagram. Literally, I was talking about the connections that bring us all as one, right? Now there's like a dangerous side to operating from the one kind of theory or understanding, just because if you are not if you don't really understand yourself and you're trying to operate with this unconditional love for everyone, you can put yourself in really, really harmful scenarios, right? You can like allow people to use you, take advantage of you, especially because you don't truly understand who you are. You don't truly understand how to still give unconditional love, even if you're putting up boundaries, because boundaries are okay when it comes to love as well. Like allowing yourself to be used and allowing yourself to give all without getting anything in return is not necessarily the way we want to be on. But at the same time, we do understand that we are all connected, like truly, truly connected. And so when we are completely in our self-expression, we can understand the whole, and we're doing what's right for people even if they don't necessarily like what you're doing, and vice versa, right? So it's about, especially because we're in a few days we're going to have a switch with Venus and Pisces, but right now we're going through the Venus Jupiter conjunction in Pisces. So that means those two planets are sitting next to each other. It has a lot to do with expansion, which expansion of the self, expansion of how we feel, expansion of our image, and once again our connection with everything else around us, like really truly glimpsing that and understanding it. And as it passes, then Venus is going to go into Aries, which makes things a lot more independent. It makes things a lot more heated, especially in terms of relationships, one-on-one, regardless of whether it's romantic or friendships or you're dealing with your mom. We're gonna want to stand our ground, right? So the understandings that we're coming through with this eclipse energy, and whatever we kind of get the feeling of and the notion of, we don't have to analyze it too deeply. We don't have anything in Virgo, but keep it in mind. Keep in mind what you feel. Keep in mind the love that you could be finding and experiencing, even in the strangest of places, because it truly is here for a reason. So I'm going to look up the thread and I will read each card for y'all. But if anyone wants to add to that and use their intuition, like, go right ahead while I search for the thread. Let's see. The thread.
Intuitively, I think it's going to be fucking great, Manuel.
That's right.
I think it's going to be transformational in all the ways and usher in blessings from the ether.
Definitely. Okay, so the thread. I can take a look at that again. The path, the vein, the circuit. Life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and what we came into this world to do. Though this happens on the most profound level, it could be the simplest incident that activates the thread. A song, an image, a conversation heard in passing. No matter how confusing and multi-layered our modern lives become, if we are connected to the thread, we are free. Being tethered to it is the only anchor our heart requires. When light, the circuit of meaning within, chaos. And when dark, binding, frustrating, and taut. So, it depends on what side of the thread, I guess, we're on with that. But we are being tugged in different directions, especially with this eclipse being so close to the North Node and basically on Uranus, that we are glimpsing. And there's a reason, once again, for that tiredness. There's a reason for the drum world, which reminds me of the rainbow too, because we kind of have to be subconscious right now, which literally is what Pisces energy is about. The best way through this is asleep. And not consciously asleep, but like actually resting and actually just taking it all in as the things change. It doesn't really require a lot of movement or actual action right now, right? But a part of us does feel like we have to do that, but that's the illusion we've been under. So let's go to the self. Page 119. So the self is the soul, the witness, and the watcher. The self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place and leads us to experience the full breadth of life's offerings. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. When this card appears, it's a call to step back into witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chef? In most situations, our ego draws us into the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smolder in chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing as the spectrum of ingredients become the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the world behind you. And when light, witnessing, accepting new aspects of self. And now going back to the thread in the self is like, we can see the things that we want manifesting in other people's lives, or vice versa. People see it in us. And there's this need to compare or, feel the lack when we see stuff happening for others and we don't see it happening for us. This is to remind us just to be the witness, because if you're bearing witness to something that is truly beautiful and truly love at the end of the day, and it's not happening to you, and you feel something about it, we can see clearly where our ego is. But if we're able to like just observe our ego and what we're even feeling and as a reaction, it's a completely different experience. So one of the best things to do is practice being the observer right now. And once again, that requires rest and waiting, in a sense, right? So when dark, disjointed, fatigued, diffused energy and purpose. So then we can go to Gnosis, right? Let's see. What does it have to say? 217. Almost there. Okay, so the innermost knowing and the mystic truths. True knowledge is not found in facts and figures and scholarly books on library shelves. Rather, Gnosis points to the deep and timeless archetypal wisdom that rises from the felt experience, which is more of that Pisces understanding, of having touched the unknown with every one of the senses. Those who are drawn to Gnosis find themselves in esoteric studies, likely involving mysticism, alchemy, healing, or perhaps science. Knowing is their calling. Not knowing is their job description. No matter how far the alchemists take their studies, they come to the ultimate conclusion that facts slip toward mystery, and soon the mystery results in facts. This card signifies a knowing that is life-changing. Once you experience it, you are forever changed and become a guardian of this. The eternal mystery is calling you. Study your passion in the deepest way available to you. When like contemplating the mystery and unanswerable questions. And I think one of the things that even came up this week of the theme is like us being lost as humans. And like we've had the stars forever, but when you really go back in time, you realize people have been following the stars so that they're literally not lost, whether it was for actual travel purposes or now like to look within and not be lost and figure out the answers. The truth is, the more you search, the more no answers you find, right? It's just a continuous literal void of a mystery, and it's like literally unending. And that's not a bad thing. That might seem like really empty, right, to a certain extent, but truthfully, that's the journey and the exploration that we're on, because we get to fill that void with all of those colors, with all of the experiences that we want. But in order to have those experiences, you actually have to jump into the unknown. So there definitely is a leap right now, especially with this North Node meeting up in conjunction through this Taurus season, that, the nodes right now are in Taurus and Scorpio. So as we go through this season, we are fully stepping in and taking the leap. Or we can be like the caged bird with the door open, just sitting in the cage, not wanting to do anything, right? And to be comfortable where we are. But there's a lot of energy right now that's going to push us out of all those comfort zones. And we're not really going to have it's not going to feel like we have a lot of choice. It's actually going to take a lot of work to stay within your comfort zone then versus just letting the energy take you where it gotta take you. So keep that in mind for the rest of the night and for this eclipse energy. Contemplate all of the weird mysteries of your life and see what you find or what you don't find.
I love a weird mystery. Thank you, Nicole Razul. Very good. Nicole has big news for you, but we won't reveal it until everyone is just frightfully grounded onto the earth plane. So I'm going to continue sending the link to people that are angry with me, and I'm going to throw it over to, hold on one second. We're going to just pause recording.